Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Sam.
I'm Rebecca.
Thanks for joining us for our watch-along series. Today we're watching Killing Eve Season 3, Episode 5.
This is not just a reaction video, it's also a watch along. So we'll click play on our copy while you click play on your copy, and we'll kind of watch along together. We'll comment as we go, and if you guys have any thoughts, opinions, disagree with us, anything you want to tell us, write them down in the comments below. We read everything, we try to respond to everything.
If you don't want to watch the whole episode along with us right now, that's totally okay. You can use the chapter time codes at the bottom of the screen to skip ahead to our end of episode review.
And if you like what we're doing and you want to see more of it, feel free to hit the subscribe button or hit the bell to get notified of any future episodes.
In last week's episode, we had a different format of episode.
And I loved it.
It was kind of cool. It was kind of neat. We got these little vignettes with each of the characters, which is a different sort of categorizing, right? Like we typically get like the location, and now we had like the location and the character name.
Right.
Which is it was neat to see.
From a storytelling, producing perspective, I thought it was a little weird. Like I thought jumping into that format all of a sudden after 2.5 seasons was a bit of a weird choice. Felt like maybe they could have led into it a little bit more or had episodes in the past that were slightly different formats to kind of set that up.
Or start at the beginning of the season.
Like that, yeah, something like that. But whatever, I thought it was the best episode of the season so far. Except that they killed Nico.
Yes, that was the big thing, right? That was the big thing that happened. We're just getting rid of everybody. Killing Kenny, killing Nico. As if killing Kenny wasn't bad enough.
They kill all the like innocent, pure, good people in this show.
Yeah. And it seemed like Eve really was looking forward to getting back with Nico. Kind of like reconnecting there together. And so now with Nico's death, we'll see what Eve's next move is.
Yeah, for sure. So let's do that. Let's jump in and check it out.
If you guys are all queued up for Killing Eve Season 3, Episode 5, click play.
Now.
I always love these beautiful wides.
Man.
And these like beautiful locations.
There's a lot more big sweeping wides like that in TV now. I feel like there didn't used to be because you'd have to hire a helicopter.
Oh, sure.
You know, it was more reserved for movies.
Yeah.
But even low budget films can get some sort of
drone.
a drone to pop that shot in real quick.
Oh my gosh. Killing Eve.
Yeah, she's... Oh, right. I can't remember where we left her off.
I guess we'll find out. Mother Russia.
Not just Russia.
And not just Mother.
Oh, she wants to find her family or something?
That seemed to be, seemed to be what she was interested in last time.
Is Russia always this, like, actually this color? Every film has Russia this, like...
Kind of blue.
Blue-brown, flat, no bright colors. That can't be true. There has to be bright colors somewhere.
I like her pants and her backpack. I mean, the rest of the outfit looks good too. Just if I was gonna wear.
You would wear that outfit.
Yeah.
But a slightly more masculine cut.
Sure.
Even the shots that like right up her nose, she looks beautiful in.
She seems so like calm and peaceful.
Contemplative.
Yeah.
The beginning of this episode feels different than the beginning of other episodes.
Yeah, we're kind of in a rural area, right? Typically,
Yeah.
we see her in the thick of an urban city.
Yeah, and this is much slower.
Yeah.
Pace, the cutting even is slower.
Her with kids again. It's been a while since we've heard that name.
This shot is great.
Yeah.
Just with her looking
the
at
whole,
all.
yeah.
I like that shot through the red of her glasses.
It's like every holiday with the families, am I right?
Is that her mother?
I believe so.
I always just assumed her whole family was dead.
Me too.
How old is Villa now? Do we know?
I don't know if they've mentioned it. I mean, late 20s, early 30s.
Do you guys know? Did they mention it? And then when I found out she did have a family, I was assuming she left them when she was like 5 or 3 or something.
But this seems like she was much older, right?
Mm-hmm. Which makes me think she'd be able to find them. Is her mom being the killer in the game any sort of foreshadowing?
I hope you guys are singing along at home.
This is Elton John, right? Is Elton John big in Russia? Or just this family? I don't know what any of that food is, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Wow. This is very interesting. Who do you think is going to die in this episode? Man, just all of the conspiracy series all at once.
It's interesting to see when like Villanelle thinks something is crazy.
Yeah. Come on, help him cook.
We haven't seen Eve at all so far in this
Yeah.
episode.
I think maybe we won't at this point.
Hmm.
Maybe next episode will just be Eve reacting to Nico's death.
Hmm.
I really don't know what she's like thinking.
Mm-hmm. Harvest Festival. Whoa.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This looks fun. That's neat. Aw.
What is that, year 20?
Yeah. Is she gonna kill that woman? That one? Uh-oh. It's Mean Girls.
Dung throwing. A fan. Who isn't excited to get a fan?
Aw, this guy.
Yeah.
He's so sweet. There's just a lot of village life.
That's a pretty shot.
Oh.
This music is very different from everything else we've been hearing this episode, right?
Oh my gosh. Hmm. But she kind of is. Oh my gosh. It's just gonna blow right in this wide. Oh, okay. I guess not. Oh man. These fades. There's been a couple fades in this episode.
Crossfades.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't. Crossfade isn't a transition that they typically used, but yeah.
It's usually hard cuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Just wearing your mom's thing.
Credits.
That was a different episode.
What do you think? Let's start with the good. We've kind of picked on the episodes the last couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe we can kind of start with the stuff that we liked, that we're fond of.
I love seeing the family of a psychopath. I think that's always interesting. Not just a psychopath. I always want to know what people's backgrounds are. What made you who you are? That's just always interesting. We don't show her dad still.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like they're trying to hold that one close. Hold those cards close still. I keep thinking that it's going to be Constantine, but she like remembers her dad. I don't think she'd not remember Constantine, although he could still be her dad and she just thinks a different person is her father. Ends up being Constantine. I don't know. I like seeing all the Russian life.
Yeah, like small town living.
Yeah, kind of have this juxtaposition of she lives like very big, right?
Mm-hmm.
She lives in the big, beautiful mansions or flats. And she has all of the designer things. She mostly works in the big cities, in the urban kind of environments. And most of the episodes are very fast-paced too, like reasonably fast cutting. But then this episode, I think we see thematically where she could have grown up, this like small town life, a very different picture of what could have been. And I think that theme is echoed in the pacing of this episode, right? The episode's pacing was much more slow, I think, than normal. Not in a bad way necessarily, just in that like life moves more slowly in a small town. I think I liked that sort of slow moment.
Having lunch with the brother,
Mm-hmm.
talking about Elton John, going to the Harvest Festival.
It's interesting that she killed her mother. I like that they have that moment of the boy saying like, she said I was ashamed to her, to in the family. I think otherwise I wouldn't believe Villanelle that her mom was like not great when she was young. But having that moment with the boy of like, I don't know if I'd call her an abusive mother or anything like that, from just purely from what we've seen. But like, at least you're not as good as you're trying to look like you are, or it seems like you are. I feel like the writers are trying to give us a little justification for her killing her own mother. Own mother, stepfather. I don't know who the other two people are.
Yeah, are those like half brothers or step brothers or half sister, stepsister?
Stepbrother and stepbrother's girlfriend,
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think.
It's always fun to see Villanelle interacting with kids.
Yes. That has been one of my favorite things throughout this whole show, is whenever she interacts with a child.
I think probably because, at least partially because that's one of the times that she seems to be sort of more honest.
She falls into her own childlikeness when she talks to children. You get to see her being kind of true to herself.
Yeah, she seems to be a bit more natural and not trying to put on
the Villanelle front.
Yeah.
Right. A nice little move that got him money for Elton John.
Yeah.
And didn't kill him. Didn't kill her brother either.
But, the other guys, flat earthers and conspiracy theorists, so they don't get to live.
Oh my gosh. Flat Earth conspiracy is always confusing to me. If the Earth was flat, I don't understand why you'd hide it. Like, I don't understand what the big men in charge gain by telling us that the Earth is round. You know what I mean? What do you get out of this? How does this make you money or power or anything?
I haven't spent much time looking into that. I couldn't tell you. As much as I liked getting a whole episode with Villanelle, I was a little bummed that we didn't get to see Eve or Carolyn.
Or Constantine.
Or Constantine.
all our favorites.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I assume they'll be back.
Sure.
Next episode. I really thought, this is going to be very Freudian, I really thought Villanelle's mother would have the big black hair.
Oh.
Not because Villanelle has a type, not because of the hair specifically, but because I feel like Villanelle's type, the thing that she seems to be looking for, is some sort of person in authority over her. She has a crush on her teacher, right? Someone who she can like look up to and learn from.
Yeah.
And then she has a crush on this person who's like chasing her, who's part of like
a big operation,
a big
like
government operation, like someone who's sort of in charge over her.
Yeah.
And that makes me think like, oh, there was something from your mother that you didn't get that you're like trying to find in these women, or something from your family generally that you didn't get. And so I just sort of assumed that her mom would have that hair.
Yeah.
And she didn't really.
Yeah. As we were watching the episode and the slow pacing and all this type of stuff that you're talking about, as well as the idea of a time that she decides to go and find her family, I was thinking that it would have been interesting if this episode was the first episode of the season. If after she had shot Eve, and whether she knew that Eve was dead or hospitalized, that she decided to get out of the city, go hang out with family, sort of clear her head, get away from everything.
Get back to her roots.
Get back to her roots.
As it were.
Yeah, I think that event, thinking that she got Eve and then realizing that Eve wasn't letting herself be owned by Villanelle, I can see that being a catalyst to her kind of having to step away and come back home.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been an interesting start to season 3.
Yeah, I agree.
And there could have been a time jump. I know a lot of you guys have commented saying that you like the time jump. And I think that I wouldn't have minded a time jump in general. But I think it's just the way they did it in the first episode. Like if we time jump to something like this, where she's like just doing farm life or whatever, after killing the woman she was like pining after for however long. Anyway, yeah, I was just thinking that would have been an interesting spot to put that piece of the story.
Yeah.
Opposed to kind of like in the middle of the season where she kind of just like seems to out of nowhere kind of go like, oh look, a baby. I wonder what I was like as a baby. Okay, I'm gonna get up and like go all the way back to Russia.
Yeah.
Because I assume she's seen babies before that moment.
Yeah. I assume we're not gonna get any more story with her and her family. We sort of ended that with a bang, as it were, which makes me a little sad. I think I wouldn't have minded like a couple episodes on her and her family and sort of digging up her family life and playing around with that. This felt it was very slow paced, like we were talking, but it felt very short. I would have liked to get to know the relationship between her and her mom a little bit more, and between her and her brother a little bit more. Yeah. And just gotten to dig into what is it that makes Villanelle? Seems like she grew up with a kind of a not great mom. Yeah, but that's kind of all I really learned.
I was gonna say it was nice to hang out in small town Russia. But nothing really happened. Like, there was no plot, there was no real character development, and there's nothing that's seemingly setting us up for the next, like, at least, like, strongly threading along what's gonna happen next, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's also part of why, like you said, even though it was slow paced, it felt short because there's just sort of not a whole lot to grab onto and hold on to. And I think that seems to be a trait of this season as well. She gets the apprentice, and I think like we could have seen multiple episodes with him and have like that relationship developed.
I would have loved to dig into more, watching her try to be in charge, try to be a leader.
Which would have been super interesting and fascinating.
Yeah.
But it just kind of got cut out really quickly. And I feel like the same thing happened here. In contrast, like I think like the first episode of season 2, she's in the hospital with, I think Gabriel is the name of the kid that she's like in the hospital with. And even though there's only one episode with him, I felt like they did a really good job of relationship development and character development.
Because we have a lot of little conversations with him.
Yeah.
And they have a goal, right? That's one of the big things, is I need each character to have a goal. I know that she wants to get out of the hospital.
Right.
That's what she's trying to do.
Right.
And so the whole episode, we're watching her trying to get out of the hospital and pulling Gabriel into that with her. And along that journey together, they sort of get to know each other.
Right.
And so when that death comes,
Yeah.
when she kills him,
Yeah.
it just rips your heart open.
Yeah.
And it's shocking, and it gets you, right? Because you've fallen in love with not only Gabriel, this kid, but also the relationship between Gabriel and her.
Yeah.
That is abruptly ripped apart.
Right.
Right? But this, I don't really know what her goal is.
Yeah.
Right? And she doesn't have to know what her goal is. Like it can be a little bit up in the air, but you still need to have something of like, I'm trying to find peace, or I'm trying to find this thing. I just need to know, why are you going to Russia? And at what point will you have hit the moment where you finished your goal? And is it about your mother? Because that would be great. I'd love to see the whole episode on like digging into her mother. Or is it about like this little kid brother that you missed? Let's dig into that, whatever. Or do you get there and you start connecting with this like half-brother, 12-year-old half-brother, and his love for Elton John, and you sort of are looking for a piece of family and you kind of find it in him. I don't know, but I don't know what the goal was.
Right.
And so I don't feel like you couldn't hang any structure of character development on this sort of just like her meandering through Russia.
Right. And there's not a whole lot of tension or conflict. Everything is very peaceful.
Right.
Even like her main conflict with her mom is a very calm and peaceful one.
I really don't know what it's about.
Right. And because of that, when she's like walking away from the house and has that scream of frustration, it's sort of like unsupported.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I want it to hit me. I really want it to hit me.
Yeah.
But it just didn't.
Right.
I think I can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But at least for me, maybe it hits you guys. At least for me, it didn't really like hit me, that like devastation that she's, I think, feeling.
Yeah.
So to sum up, interesting episode. We enjoyed seeing her family, her background. Wish there was more time spent on that in like the individual conversations.
Or more depth.
Or more depth. One of the two. Or both. We like small town Russia. I wanna be a part of the poop throwing contest. I totally wanna try that. And we really missed Eve. So I'm excited, which is okay. I'm excited to get to the next episode and see where she's at.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we get a whole episode with her, potentially.
Especially reacting to Nico's death. I feel like that would be...
It deserves like an episode, right?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out soon. We hope you guys have enjoyed watching along with us and enjoyed the discussion. If you have, please do subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We really appreciate it. We'll see you guys back here next week for the next episode of Killing Eve.